Hello, welcome to the GenXplainers Podcast. And today, along with our normal panel, Mike and Al, we've got our friend Rand again is coming to visit.
Hey, guys.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. And today, we're doing a song which was chosen by AI, or is sort of a well-known and a popular opinion pick. And that song is How Soon Is Now by the Smiths. A little background. It was released in 1985 on Rough Trade. It's written by Johnny Marr and Morrissey. And as far as its reputation, it is on the Rolling Stone Top 500 Greatest Songs of All Time, down at 421. But on the New Music Express version of that list, it's number 4. So a little bigger in England.
The sun and the air, all the shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am sun and air.
Let's just very quickly talk about our first memories of this song, if you can remember kind of when you first heard it. Let's start with Al.
This was the first Smith song I ever heard, actually, and I purchased the single, which should indicate some level of appreciation of it. I had this on 45, listened to it a lot. Definitely felt that I'm dancing with a bunch of people, but really I'm dancing by myself kind of feeling that the song evokes to me. And I think it's a great song.
Yeah. How about you, Mike?
I don't remember the first time I heard it, and I can't even tell you it was the first Smith song I heard. I'm sure that first time I heard the Smiths was probably in a John Hughes movie, because he used them quite a bit.
So please, 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 let me get what I want this time.
I don't remember if I heard it when it first came out or if it was like later on, because I just can't remember what year I got into the Smiths. But I think it's one of my favorites of theirs, and it's a lot of people's favorite. So I think it's. We'll talk a little bit more about it later, but yeah, I think it's a great song.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Rand?
So they used to play this song. I first heard it on the Quake, which was the alternative music station in the San Francisco Bay Area in the 80s. And I definitely heard it there. I don't think it really stuck with me initially. I remember just kind of hearing it in the background. And then my brother gave me a cassette of Hatful of Hollow, the compilation album that has that song on it. And I was introduced to the entire Smiths catalog or that album and the deeper sound of the Smiths, and realized that this song sounds so different than a lot of their other stuff. That's when I really began to get an appreciation of it once I got to hear the rest of the Smiths stuff. And I think, like Mike said, it's definitely one of my favorites. I didn't need AI to pick it. Oh wait, I'm revealing too much. It's definitely one of my favorite Smith songs for sure. It came around after a while.
Yeah, I think same here. I probably heard it on the Quake as well, sometime senior year. It came out 85. So probably heard on the radio, but I don't think I really delved into the catalog of the Smiths until, I'm pretty sure freshman year of college, a friend of mine on the dorm floor had Hatful of Hollow. And that's like, I first heard like a set of songs. And this was on it. But yeah, like you said, this song, it's funny that it is their probably most famous and biggest hit. And it is really so different. And even the record label actually were like, we're not releasing this as a single. This isn't going to, fly at all. And when they finally did it, it didn't do great, but it just has staying power, I think, I mean, again, reputationally speaking, it's, one of the most recognizable songs, from like a band that would become a huge influential band in the 80s. It was originally a B-side to William, It Was Really Nothing in 84. But But then it was, eventually on Hatful of Hollow, the compilation.
Yeah.
That,
One of their shortest songs, and William was really nothing, and then B-side and one of their longest songs.
Yeah.
Very uneven single.
Yeah. Couple quotes from industry people. Sire Records, Seymour Stein called it, quote, "Stairway to Heaven of the 80s."
Nice. Nice.
And I have a quote from Philip Sherburne in Pitchfork. "The tremolo pulse that opens How Soon Is Now is the kind of sound musicians and listeners spend a lifetime chasing after. Something never heard before and never successfully replicated since." And I think that opening bit is a huge. I think he's right.
Yeah, it's one of the most recognizable.
Yeah, and Johnny Marr, totally iconic. And Johnny Marr says he says it's possibly the Smiths' most enduring record. It's most people's favorite. Again, not typical of their other song, compared to their other songs. Johnny Marr says that he wanted to explore building a song around a single chord, because most Smith songs really do move around a lot, melodically and just in general. But in this case, he chose F sharp, and he just wanted to sort of needle around that chord as much as possible.
And the sun and the air are the shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am sun and air of nothing in particular.
That tremolo really sustains throughout the song, and it really sort of drives you along. And it is a long song. Again, another difference that this song has with other Smith songs. Very long. It's 6:48 according to my Spotify playlist. But that tremolo guitar just moves you all the way through, and then the drums and come in and continue the pulsing kind of movement. What is fun is that Andy Rourke, the bass player, gets to do some noodling back there too as we go. It's kind of he has a little fun behind there. It's deep in the mix, but it's there. But let's see. I do have more little sort of studio trickery to sort of make it sound the way it sounds, so distinctive. So Johnny Marr and the producer John Porter did the tremolo effect on the guitar. He says it was inspired by Bo Diddley's distinctive syncopated shuffle guitar style. And Hamilton Bohannon's Disco Stomp. And what they did, they took the guitar, they looped it back into the studio control board, and then sent it to 3 Fender Twin reverb amps. And then they controlled like the tempo of the tremolo manually to keep them in sync, which is crazy to think about, like them just sitting there, like, and I guess they couldn't get much more than, they had to do it in chunks. When it got out of sync, they said, okay, back it up. We're going to keep going and get the tremolo synced up. And some of them were like, they could only do for like 10 seconds and they had to, it's sort of really patchwork together.
Something that'd probably be a lot easier now at digital recording, I'm sure.
Yeah, they probably just have sync to clock, button push, So anyway, that's how they got that sound. And then to keep it in time, they also had a drum machine that was triggered by a noise gate. There's a lot of studio trickery to make that sound. And then Johnny Marr added a lot of other guitar parts, which really make the song really atmospheric. There's that sliding, guitar that he put in there. And again, that was affected with a harmonizer and all this stuff to make it feel all kind of ghostly, or, I call it ghostly.
I think it sounds like a cat.
Yeah, it's true. It does look like a cat. The feeling I get from like the general sound of the song And I don't, in my head, it's like floating through a haunted house or something. And then Morrissey shows up. So, then it becomes really haunted. But any comments on like the sound or the guitars, other stuff from you guys before I keep going?
Well, my favorite part of the song is the ding 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 at the end.
That's part of the special part that Johnny added just for you, Alan.
I feel it. I feel the love.
Enough of this cat stuff. Let's just add a little ice cream van sound in there. Is that what that is?
Well, you know what it was, according to my sources, he added that. Johnny Marr added that guitar part as it's actually lifted from a synth vibraphone part on a song by Lovebug Starsky called "You Gotta Believe," which I've never heard of that, but he has said that's where I got it from. And
you're
again,
making that up.
And again,
when you say Lovebug Starsky, I do wonder if you're having a stroke.
No, but yeah, it's like a synthy rap song, I guess, from England. I don't know. I don't know much about Lovebug Starsky. That's another podcast. But yeah, he wanted to add that. And I think the reason he gave was he wanted to prove that he wasn't just a 60s psychedelia guitar player. So he wanted to add like a little, the whole song is just so different.
So I saw the Smiths live in, I think, 1985 when they were still playing as a 4-piece. And you can imagine, it's difficult to record this song. And it was, I was curious how they were going to play it live with that tremolo guitar going and then have the other guitar parts coming in over the top. Now, granted, I was kind of far away from the stage, did not get to see real close. But what I feel like was happening was that Johnny was playing the tremolo part the whole time. And he put what we're calling the cat sound, the where, on a pedal. He just had it sampled in a pedal, and he would hit the foot pedal and get that. I don't know. I don't recall exactly how he would have done the little bits at the end that Alan likes, but they probably just left those out. But it seems to me like maybe he could have just sampled the tremolo part. That part is repeating through the whole song and then just play the rest of it. But then there would probably be a lot of him standing around not doing anything.
Right.
Yeah. But I thought that was interesting to watch them perform that live.
Yeah, I think they've said they had trouble doing that, especially early on. Like, how are we going to do this song?
Yeah, that's why they added another guitarist.
Yeah. So yeah, the sound of it, Johnny Marr and the producer put a lot of work into getting that very signature sound, and they finished it. And then that night they sent the track to Morrissey, and then the next day Morrissey had scribbled some things together from his notebook, and there's not a whole lot of lyrics to it. A couple of verses and a chorus that's repeated. I think that's it.
That's actually kind of nice. The hollow spaces that come in between, I like songs that do that, where you get these long instrumental periods and then throw in some vocals, drop out the vocals, let the song groove for a while, and then come back in. I think it's effective.
Yeah.
The fewest amount of lyrics and the longest song.
It's optimized for shoegazing.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
It's classic Morrissey, very emotional stuff. It's the kind of stuff that at that time, I don't think there was a whole lot of that. He was one of the first to really have the heart on the sleeve lyrics and say things that nobody had said before, these kind of things. There's a club and you got to go. You could meet somebody who really loves you. But you go and you stand on your own, you leave on your own. And it was just, those are great lyrics that to a teenager really, or to certainly a teenager, but anyway, of any age, I think it really goes straight to the heart and is very effective.
I mean, it's very well known in popular culture, and it's kind of emblematic of the Generation X kind of attitude. I mean, it's almost like aggressive sadness, you know. It's like, you know, and being very honest with like how I'm feeling about something. And you go home and you cry and you want to die, you know. It's not something most people were writing lyrics like that, you know.
Wait, aggressive sadness by Morrissey? What?
Yeah, and he's the master. The funny thing about that, especially that chorus, personal story time. I don't know what it was. I had somehow heard that the San Jose Mercury News, which is a print newspaper, a newspaper from the Bay Area, they were doing an article. They were going to be writing a feature article about what song symbolizes Generation X. I guess it was Generation X, or at least that time period for people our age or something. I don't know how they put it. But I actually, and you're just supposed to write in your ideas with a little bit of a, you know, blurb about why. And I actually sent in How Soon Is Now, and I quoted that chorus. And that's like the part I sent in. And the article came out, and it was the feature. It was the first one, and it was in the featured little block text. And I was like, hey, look at that. I guess I was right. This is the one.
You were the only person who mailed in, I think is what happened.
Well, at least 2 other people did, and they chose stupid ass songs. I don't remember what they were.
Yeah,
it was like
the rest of
Poison
it
or
was
something.
AI, I think.
I think We're Alone Now by Tiffany.
I think it was Cherry Pie by Warren.
Well, that sums it up right there. Cherry Pie. I mean, that's. There are some covers of it, and it's used in pop culture because it's very well known. Love Spit Love, which is a side project of Psychedelic Furs, Richard Butler. They did a cover that was used in the show Charmed, and you know, it's okay. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a strange song to cover. Because I think what's great about the song isn't like, you know, the actual song's melodies and lyrics. I mean, lyrics are good, but like to redo it and change it, it's like, well, what's great about it is being changed. That's in my opinion for this song.
How did they change it? I don't think I've heard it. Did they?
It is much more. I mean, I think they still have the tremolo, but it's much more kind of like the guitar is a little different, and there's a lot more little early 90s weird like sounds put in.
It seems to me that if you're going to cover, you should do something completely different with it.
Yeah, it was close enough so you knew. I mean, it was pretty close, but then they added these other elements that took away from it, I think.
Yeah.
I do think that the song did reach its peak of popularity, though, when in the year 2000, when Nissan used it in a commercial for one of their cars.
Again, that's that thing. All these songs that were so like, man, this is really life-changing music, and then 20 years later, oh, maybe I'll buy a Buick,
I'll buy a Nissan Maxima is what it was for.
I feel like
Maxima.
Nissan. I think the Nissan Maxima is going to be the car for me because I love the Smiths. The guitar tremolo sample was sampled and used in a song in 1990 by a band called Soho with their song Hippie Chick. I do remember that song.
Oh, that's right.
See, and that's a situation where they took an element of the song and they totally did a different kind of song. They did a dancey song. So good for them. So, okay. I'm assuming everyone sort of listened to it and thought about their, visceral feelings about it. We've talked about like the history and some of the some of the elements. So is there anything else that came to you as you listened to it again before we pose any kind of question?
I don't recall this being something that affected me one way or the other when I was younger, but listening to it, playing it as I often do for my children, just to get their response, I was caught by just how long it is. And for some reason, even though I always threatened to put on Inagata Devita, I was like, oh man, it really, like, I get the point. You're upset. Like, I mean, come on. And maybe that's just because I'm an old man now.
That sounds very old man.
What are you saying? Spit it out, Morrissey.
I ain't got time for 7-minute songs anymore.
Where's the guitar solo?
What a jam, man.
Yeah.
So it affected me differently than it did when I was younger.
Okay.
To me, it still holds up. You know, to me, it stands the test of time. And I can't say I listen to it a lot, but when it does come on, I do still enjoy it and do not get tired of it. I like the way I'm comfortable with the length and like all the different parts. Again, where the vocals coming in and out, you know, I always look forward to certain parts, you know, certain vocal parts that come up later on or throughout the song. So yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. All right. Well, go ahead.
Well, and I would also accuse myself of being a hypocrite because one of the things I was thinking, like, oh, well, this is not one of the Smiths songs that I put on the most. There's two others I put on way more often than this, but one of them is also another long Smith song. So maybe I'm just full of it.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
And is the other one, frankly, Mr. Shankly?
No.
I'm going to guess. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, it's long, huh?
Well,
I know which one.
Smiths.
I know which one I put on a lot, which is "Reel Around the Fountain." So,
I think Queen is Dead is one of my favorite, and that's pretty long.
Yep, that's it.
Oh,
My two favorites are "The Queen is Dead" and "There's a Light That Never Goes Out."
Okay, well, you know what? Let's. I'll just say that when I listen to it, I do know that it's long intellectually, but I can get caught up in it. It's very atmospheric, and the texture and the mood is great, so I can really let it roll, you know. And I think it does have a breakdown, kind of 3/4 through, where everything drops away again, and it recenters you with just the tremolo guitars, so that helps a little bit. And I think it's for Mike. I think it's timeless. I think this song, because of the nature of the song and the production and everything, I don't think it doesn't feel dated to me, at least. Maybe it does to one of you.
Yeah, I don't think it feels 80s. To me, there's a timelessness to it.
Yeah.
And one more thing I'll add, I think if you could do it well, I think it'd be a great karaoke song to, you know, you'd have to hold everyone's attention for a long while, and you got to be pretty good at it. Well, and there'd be long breaks of you just kind of standing there.
Well, you'd have to get some
shirt off and, you know, like some flowers around.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to bring flowers and wave them around a little bit. We hope you're enjoying this GenXplainers podcast. Please remember to find us and follow us on social media, and we'd much appreciate a 5-star rating on the podcast platform of your choice. Now, let's get back to the show. All right, well, so let's ask the question. Well, it is an AI, so it's not like I have a vested interest, but I'll go first, and I say yes, it is, for the reasons I stated. Who wants to go next?
I'm going to say yes. I do feel like especially the genre, for the timelessness, the elements of like emoting a feeling, not necessarily of a time, but of just like, you know, a certain period in your life maybe, and such as that. It really is a song that stands out. It's not my favorite of their songs, but it is I think it's a very great and perfect song.
All right.
I also think I'm giving it a thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
I put together a list of things that I want to nominate, and I think it was on the list already. So, like I said, I tell me that I think this song is pretty darn perfect.
All right, and I'm gonna say we'll go to Al, but I think maybe I have a feeling. Go ahead, Al.
I'm gonna say yes.
Oh,
I am gonna say yes.
I smell a qualifier.
He doesn't want to be hypocritical.
I don't. No, I don't want to be. Everyone is. I guess I was using my internal rubric of like, is this a song I put on? And it's not. I don't put it on that often. I do occasionally, but in the context of what it is and what it's trying to do, and which is to convey a very specific and very unpleasant feeling, but also, as Rand pointed out, quite universal. I can't. It's hard for me to think of a song that does it better. So I am going to say yes.
Woohoo!
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Oh, it's more than a turkey, because a turkey is 3.
That's true.
Strikes
The
in a
Gobble
row.
Plus.
It's yeah. Do they call something? Do they
That's a special streaming service, Gobble Plus.
That's right.
It's
not the same
as How Soon Is Now, 24 hours a day.
It's not the same as regular Gobble, which is just a cable channel. It's Gobble Plus.
Gobble Plus.
Be confused.
Yeah, it has to be. I'll have to come up with a unanimous 4 vote for something, or just
Quad
Turkey
Squad.
Quad Squad. Or a turkey with a hat on it, like a top hat. All right, well, there you go. Hey, we all agree. The experts agree, because we're experts. How Soon Is Now by the Smiths. I don't think this is a controversial decision. It's a great song. And go out and listen to it today if you got about 7 minutes.
I think my only complaint is I still don't know how soon now is. So I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's not in the lyrics anywhere.
You don't think of the controversial yet, but wait till the YouTube comments start flowing in.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of YouTube, everybody, please put a comment. I don't care. It can be, we've had some negative comments. That's cool. But, leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're not, head on over to YouTube. Check it out. I put fun pictures of album covers and things. It's very exciting.
We're fun to look at.
Yeah, and look how handsome we are.
And if you're Morrissey, leave a comment for sure.
Oh, yes, please, Morrissey. The thing is, he'll schedule to put a comment on, but then he'll cancel for some reason. And it'll just be an empty comment.
Even though the place where he's going to make the comment is down the street from where he lives.
It'll just be half a quote. He'll cut it short.
Yeah. That's it. All right, I'm out of here. All right. Thanks for listening. Right. We'll see you again. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Adios.